Welcome to all techies. I'm Pankaj Rai, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about how you can add swipe to dismiss to the list items. Well, adding swipe to dismiss is quite common across multiple applications. One of the most widely used application, which is Gmail, also uses this functionality. Well, in this tutorial we'll see if we have to add the same behavior where user can swipe across left to right or right to left to do certain actions, like for example either to delete it or to archive it, then how we can achieve those things with Jetpack Compose. So let's see what we are going to build. Here I have the list of items. Now as I swipe across left to right, I could see that the item, as I complete the swipe, it gets deleted from the list. And not just one side swipe, we can also add swipe from the other side too. And then as we swipe, we could take some other action. For example, one side for archive and other side for delete. Anything based on your requirement. One more thing which you are going to see here is that it's not just swipe, but you could see as I start this swipe, item is getting elevated. The background remains light in color, but as soon as I take it towards left side, then it changes to red. And also the icon, which is quite small initially, will change its size to a bit bigger size. So let's see in this tutorial how we can add this kind of behavior to our application. So let's get started. Okay, so before I talk about the implementation of swipe to dismiss, if you haven't subscribed this channel, then please do hit the subscribe button so as to get the videos on the latest topics of Android, Kotlin, and Firebase. So do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, then also do not forget to hit the like button. Okay, now let's get started with the implementation. Here for the dummy purpose, I have the list of items, which is a user message object which takes the drawable name and then some dummy message. Also, it is mutable state list of, because as soon as we remove any items or add item to the list, we want our lazy column to get updated. Remember, because we don't want to initialize this list again with the same set of items, so we are putting it inside remember. Okay, so this is static content as of now. In reality, for your application, this piece of information should come from API, because if you are not getting the list of items from API, then the content will remain static. So just for the demonstration purpose, I kept it as a static list item here. Now let's create the lazy column. Well, lazy column we are using because we want to display the list of items. If you want to correlate this with the existing UI toolkit, then you may correlate it with the recycler view. Let's make it to occupy the entire screen size. Now inside this, let's have the items, and we want to show the message list. So inside items, let's put the message list. Also, for the optimization, let's add the key too. We'll say it dot profile ID, because as of now it's just the profile ID which we have it as a unique item. Okay, so that's it. Now just with this, we have the list with us, and now we can have a card or text with whatever layout we want to display. We can have it right at this place. Well, for the layout, I have already created it. It is something like message, which takes profile ID, and rather instead let's give this as item name. So item dot profile ID item dot title, and then item dot message. Just with this, we are going to see the list of items on UI, which is nothing but will look something like this. But so far, it doesn't have a swipe to dismiss capability. Now, let's check out how we can add swipe to dismiss capability too. So let's create the remember dismiss state first. So we'll say dismiss state equals to remember dismiss state. Now inside this, we can say confirm state change, and we can have our check here. So we could say if it equals to dismiss value dot dismiss to end, or it equals to dismiss value dismiss to start. What should happen? We're going to specify it here. Also, it should return boolean, so let's return true here. Now what is going to happen here is that once user swipe and the value is either dismiss to end or dismiss to start, then this piece of information we want to get executed. In our case, because we are just directly dismissing it, so for us it should be something like message list dot remove item. So what's going on here is that suppose user swipes an item from start to end or end to start, which I've shown earlier. Something like either you do from end to start or start to end. At both the places, we want certain things to get executed, and that's what we put inside this block. Well, just for the demonstration, I'm showing both dismiss to end and dismiss to start to remove from the list, but based on your requirement, when it is swipe dismiss to end and then dismiss to start, it can have a different actions too. And then in that case, instead of if, it's best to have it as a when condition. So you could say when it dismiss value dismiss to start, then dismiss value to end, and in case user starts the swipe and then leave in between, where again comes back to its original position, then in that case it will come as dismiss value dot default. But say if user has swiped the element and went above 50%, which is the default behavior because we are not changing the threshold, so it will automatically goes towards that end. So for example, if I'm doing a swipe, say I'm going to leave it, so it will not come back to its original place because I did swipe over 50%, and if I leave it from here, then you could see again it is coming back. Okay, now let me remove this because for this demonstration I'm just showing either you swipe from left or to right. For both the places we are removing from the list. So we have created the dismiss state, but we haven't added it yet. So to add this, we are going to create swipe to dismiss. So let's use swipe to dismiss, and that's the place where we want to specify the state, where we are going to say dismiss state. Also, we can specify the direction of swipe, background, and the dismiss content. So let's add all of them. So the first one is state, which was specified. Now next is directions. So we want this swipe to happen in which direction? Left to right, right to left, or for both. Say for example, if we do for both, so we can say set of dismiss direction dot start to end and dismiss direction to start. If I don't want this to swipe on both the direction, I just want it to swipe from end to start, then I have to specify like this. Then in that case, it will only and only swipe from end to start, but not from start to end. Now one thing with direction is that it requires set object. So if you do not provide any value for directions, then the default value for this is end to start and start to end. That means your list item will swipe in both the directions. Okay, now let's leave this as it is, which is also the default one, and add the next parameter here, which is background. Now this background is a place where you specify when users swipe from either left or to the right, what should be shown to the user. And then we have dismiss content. This dismiss content is the original content that is visible to the user as soon as they just launch their screen. So the list items which we have specified like this earlier, we just said message inside items and we are seeing the list of messages. Now this will be inside dismiss content. So I think I'm clear on this. Background is what should happen when users swipe towards left or right. The content which should be visible to the user should come in the background. Dismiss content is all about what is shown to the user as soon as this lazy columns shows the items. So the original items will be shown inside this dismiss content. But one thing is that instead of adding message directly, let's add it inside card. And inside card we'll say let the modifier be fill max width, and we'll also specify the elevation. This elevation we are adding so as to enhance the look and feel as the user starts swiping the item. So we'll say animate DP as state, and in the target value we'll check if the dismiss direction is null or not. So for that we'll say if dismiss state dot dismiss direction is not equals to null, then in that case let this to be of 4 dp, else we'll make this as 0 dp. And that's it. So initial elevation will be of 0 dp, and as soon as user starts swiping the item, the elevation will go to 4 dp. Okay, that's it. Now let's put our message inside. So that's it. Our list item that should be visible to the user is ready. We have put it inside the dismiss content. Now the one thing which we have to create is the background. What should happen when users swipe through the left or right? The action is specified inside this remember dismiss state, which is removed from the list, and what should be shown to the user as they swipe across left or right. Now that has to be added inside this background. Now let's add the background for the swipe item. So for that we'll say the direction first, and we'll get it from the dismiss state object. dot dismiss direction. If this is null, then we can just return from here. And then earlier, as I've shown, when I was doing dismiss from end to start, the background was of red color, and when I was doing from start to end, it was of green color. So let's add the logic for changing the background color. So for that, we'll say val color by animate color as state. Then we'll put this inside when dismiss state object dot target value. Here let's add the all three possibilities: default, dismiss to end, and dismiss to start. So if it is default, then let me say this as light gray color. If it is dismiss to end, then I'll say green. And if it is dismiss value dot dismiss to start, then I'll say this as color dot red. Okay, so our logic for a color switch is also added. Now if you see about the icon, so we had the icon when we were swiping from left to right or to the right to left. It was a delete icon for end to start, and for start to end it was a checkmark icon. So let's add the icon switch logic too. So we'll say val icon when direction is start to end, then we'll say icons dot default dot done. And when the dismiss direction is end to start, then we'll say icons dot default dot delete. But one thing which you might have seen is that as I was starting the swipe, icon size was small, but the moment I crossed it above 50%, the background color was changing, and along with color, icon size was also changing. So let's add a logic for the change of icon size too. So for that, let's add a scale object. So we'll say val scale by animate float as state, where the target value is if dismiss state dot target value is equals to dismiss value dot default, then in that case let this be 0.8f, else we'll say 1.2f. And this scale we are going to provide for the icon, and eventually let's put all those things inside a box. So we want this box to occupy the entire width and height of the individual item. So we'll say fill max size, and then we'll say the background as the color that we have specified based on our logic, that when it is default, then the color should be light gray. If it is dismissed to end, then the color should be green. And if it is dismissed to start, then we want the background color to be red. So we have our logic ready. We just need to pass the object here. And now let's add a bit of padding too. We'll say start as 12 dp and end as 12 dp again. And that's it. Now Let's put icon here. So for icon, we already have icon object that we have created. This icon will switch based on the swipe direction. For start to end, it is done icon, and for end to start, it's delete icon. Okay, and the modifier which is needed here so as to set the scale for this icon. As I said, we are changing the size. Eventually it's not the size, we are just scaling it up and down. So here I could say modifier dot scale, and the scale object that we have it here, and that's it. So now if I run this, you'll see everything working well, provided our icon will not be aligned properly towards the left or towards the right. The reason for that is, for box we have just specified that we need icon, but we haven't specified that we need icon towards the start or towards the end. So as we swipe from left to right or right to left, we want this icon to be shown at a particular position. For example, if I'm doing a swipe from left to right, that means from end to start, then I want the icon to be visible towards the right side of the screen. And when I'm doing from start to end, then I want the icon to be visible towards the left side of the screen. But with box, so far we haven't specified that, but we do have a capability to provide that alignment too. So let's create an object for alignment. So for alignment, we will say when direction dismiss direction dot end to start. So when it is end to start, then we want the alignment to be at the end. So we can say alignment dot center end. And in case the dismiss direction is start to end, then we want the alignment to be center start. So we have the alignment ready. We just need to put this for this box. So we can say content alignment is equals to alignment object, and that's it. Just with this few steps, we have added swipe to dismiss capability to our app. Let's run and check this out. So here it is. As you can see, we have the list of items that is visible to us. This list of item is being visible from this place. So as this part is getting executed, it shows us the card. Inside card we have the message, and as soon as I start swipe, then this part will get executed and we'll see the background with respect to the direction. Now let me do from end to start. So you could see we are getting elevation, and so far it's light gray, and as soon as I do above 50% swipe, then this changes to red. And you could see also the scale of icon. So the icon size is changing and the background color is also getting changed. Now if I leave it, it will delete the item, because we have specified inside confirm state that if it is dismissed to end or dismissed to start, in both the case, so far we are removing from the list items. Also, if I do from start to end, then you could see an icon which will scale up and the background will change to green as I cross 50% of the screen. And not just this, it's also animating. as it is changing its size, it is animating. The background color is also animating and it is changing the color. It's all because we have used the animate property there. You could see animate float as state, and even for color too, we have set animate color as state. Now one more thing is that there could be a scenario where just swipe is not sufficient. You may also want to show as a snack bar at the bottom with an undo option, or you may want to show an alert dialog to the user as soon as they swipe from left to right or right to left. Well, for that, what you can do is that you can create an object, say where is swipe removed by, remember, mutable state of false, and you can make this true at this place. Now as soon as is swipe removed is changed to true, and because it is of type mutable state of, that means it is being observed, that means this composable will get recomposed, and whatever condition which you have specified based on your if condition, that will get executed. So you can have your if is swipe removed is true, then I want to show an alert dialog or toast message or snack bar or any other actions which you want to do. You can specify with the if condition. And the final thing before I conclude this tutorial is, I've talked earlier that when the swipe crosses 50%, then some action is happening right here. But why is that? Why it's 50%? And can we change that value? So yes, we can do that. As swipe to dismiss allow us to pass the dismiss threshold. So we can pass dismiss threshold which is above or less than 50%. So we may say dismiss threshold is equals to fractional threshold, and then inside this we can specify some sort of value. 50% is the default value. Say for example, I don't want this to be happen right at the 50%, but I want this to be as early as 20%. And I can just say 0.2. But most prominent value here is 50% itself. However, this is a capability through that you can change the value based on your requirement. And this will happen for either way, from left to right or right to left. Let's check this out. Earlier it was 50% and now it is 20%. Okay, so as I swipe towards end, here you could see as soon as it is crossing the 20%, now the background color is changing and the icon is also scaling up. And same is true from start to end too. So swipe to dismiss composable do help to add swipe to dismiss capability with extremely easy steps, which I've shown in this tutorial. And that's it in this tutorial. If you have liked this video, then please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe this channel, and also share it with your friends. Thank you and stay tuned.